assume that means you're ready, Mayor.
We are. I'm just
okay,
messing with
we've
it,
got
but
4 people on
we
the
are
public
ready.
agenda. That's all I've got on page
On
1.
public agenda, real quick, did anyone actually get the letter from Esau, from the employees at this point, or is he presenting us this letter at the public hearing?
Or is it the same one that was published in the Eagle?
I don't know for sure if that is. I talked to Esau this morning. I don't think he's going to produce a letter at the meeting. I think he wants to talk about this issue, but I think he's decided not to provide the letter publicly.
And Councilmember Fryer, the Eagle, are you referring to Chase Billingham's
No, I
article,
thought
or was
there
there
was-
another one?
I thought Esau had one in.
Esau had one left too, I think.
I thought he had an opinion piece. I could be wrong. Maybe it was Chase's.
I think
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure I was prepared for that by reading it ahead of time.
Yeah. Okay, page 2. Unfinished council business. First item is renaming of McAdams Rec Center. And I believe now there's agreement with the family in terms of naming it the Carl G. Brewer Community Center. Council new business. First item is a management services agreement for Century 2, 5-year agreement with ASM Global for the operation and management of the facility. They would receive a $120,000 annual management fee, and there would be some performance incentives built into the contract. In addition, they would contribute $400,000 for capital improvements for the facility, let me see. Oh, and then we anticipate through this contract that we will see a significant reduction in our deficit funding for C2. In the first year alone, expect the deficit to drop from 1.4 million to 800,000, and then 800,000 drops over the life of the contract.
And this contract, is it a 5-year contract? With an
It's
option?
5 years with a 5-year renewal.
And all employees are being given the option to stay with the city?
They are. If they can either go to ASM, and they have visited with ASM, I believe the employees have, or if they wish to stay with us, then we'll have employment for them in the organization. Number 2 is the annual performance report in terms of our use of HUD funds. That's primarily CDBG, home, and emergency solutions grant. There's also CARES Act funding that's included in this performance report. Number 3 is the first of 3 items you have regarding closing documents for RAD. Significant number of documents, and Sally, of course, will talk about each one in great detail, all 70 documents. Actually, she'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. You have a ground lease, you have mortgage documents, a development agreement, and funding agreements included in the closing. So this is your action as a city council, and then you'll also have a similar item that I'll talk about in a second under public housing. That's it on page 2. On page 3, number 4, this is a technical adjustment to the dangerous dog ordinance, and what it does is reflect an adverse ruling that we received in the Court of Appeals regarding due process for owners of dogs that have been deemed to be dangerous. And so this provides a period of time for the owners to be able to prove that their animals are not dangerous. I believe it's 72 hours, is that right? 72 hours. Number 5 would be a prohibition on street racing and enhancement of the penalties for participation in these events. Number 6 is a common consumption area designation for the property around Union Station, and this is associated with the ICT Blocktoberfest event on October 8th. That's all I have on page 3. Page 4 is the annual allocation of cultural funding to agencies, outside agencies. These are the recommendations from the Cultural Funding Committee. Number 8 is our establishment of annual premiums for group health, vision, and dental insurance for our employees. This year, the premiums are very favorable. Number 9 is our annual bridge rehabilitation project. It's $500,000 for repairs to the Eisenhower Parkway Bridge and to the 15th Street Bridge, I believe pedestrian improvements, and then removal of the 10th Street Bridge. Number 10 is the approval of shade structures, the construction of shade structures in the Nomar International Market. Total budget's $135,000 for that work. This has been discussed for a number of years.
How much was that?
Pardon me?
Yeah, 125?
It's 135 total. I think we're just authorizing the last 50,000. There was previous funding.
Right.
Number 11 is the approval of a memorandum of understanding for creation of a TIF district at the site of the old El Paso refinery adjacent to 21st Street. They're anticipating, when completed, that there'd be over 1 million square feet of warehousing, manufacturing, and transportation facilities constructed over a 10-year period, the creation of 400 jobs, and an investment of $109 million. TIF District would provide $5 million for the construction of infrastructure guaranteed by the developer, and then $1.8 million in site preparation costs that would be on a pay-as-you-go basis, which puts the burden on the developer. That's all I've got on that item. And the MOU is the first step in the TIF process, so there'll be other approvals necessary from the council later. Number 12 is the approval of a development agreement for the sale of excess property on East Kellogg. You received proposals and approved the proposal of Ruffin Properties for this purchase of this property in the amount of $8.7 million. The development agreement requires construction to begin within a 2-year period, which was also in the RFP, and they're anticipating the construction of mixed-use development. No changes in the planned development from what was in the RFP.
I'm sorry, Bob, I don't have a green sheet. I don't have an item for 11.
None of us do yet. It says it's not in the agenda report yet.
think it
On
was
your yellow
in
sheet.
Okay.
Did they,
Oh,
it may be,
Nope, agenda
is it in your
report.
box?
thank you.
No, it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
Okay,
Yeah, it was in that extra stack that was in our.
Yeah.
box.
Flash drive?
No,
The one that
was-
came with the flash drive, it should be in that.
Yeah, there's more items in
There
there.
were 2 RADs in there, I believe, and this one, ICT 21.
Oh.
There you go.
Sweet. A little extra reading for the weekend. Thanks.
Just testing us.
I see.
Page 5, the first item, the planning item, is a District 2 zone change. Councilmember, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about on that.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get organized for not having.
Yeah.
Which one?
Zone change for in planning, non-consent.
I don't think so.
On page
I don't think I have
5.
any comments yet, but
Okay. The bottom of that page is your second RAD action. This is you're taking this action as the Public Housing Authority. Again, a large number of closing documents, including funding agreements. I don't have anything on page 6 other than to note there's a council travel item on page 6. Page 7, number 3 is selecting 4 firms to provide on-call services for the repair of our treatment plants. Just a reminder, when we do on-call contracts, no project can exceed $50,000 and no contractor can receive more than $500,000 in work over the year. 3B is it would designate the use of $4.1 million in federal funds for West Street improvements, I-235 to MacArthur. Top of page 8 is a similar agreement for the use of $7.8 million in federal funds for another segment of West Street from Harry to Pawnee. Number 5 is your last RAD item, and this would approve $17.3 million in multifamily housing revenue bonds, which would make the city eligible to apply for 4% low-income housing tax credits, which are necessary to help with the funding of this project. Number 7, we have an overestimate bid by $5,000 for the water improvements that serve Boulevard East Addition. That's all I have on page 8. Page 9, number 8 is a $152,000 grant from the Department of Justice to help fund a police detective in our EMCU unit. Number 9 is approving $375,000 in additional CARES funding for emergency rent and utility assistance. Number 10 is approval of CSBG funds, discretionary funds in the amount of $75,000 to allow us to install a new data management system. Mayor, believe it or not, that's all I got.
That's it? All right, questions on the agenda?
I'm guessing we'll be out by 10.
Yeah.
That night?
It's never that easy.
Page 6, item 1, is that round trip or one way?
Hey, that's my joke from last week.
One way, baby. Win big and.
So we're walking back, huh?
Oh, you guys. Anything for the good of the group? See none. Thank you all.